This is part 2, episode 98. Damn, after tens of thousands of years, I finally have a body again. Ha, after getting myself a body, I have to enjoy myself. Rumor has it that all the female cultivators on planet Feng Luan are beauties. This old man has always wanted to go there. Once we leave this place, I have to go enjoy myself. Wang Lin, do you want to go? Wang Lin frowned. He looked at the boy before him and calmly said, not going. The boy was Sichu Nan. After he possessed the body, he shortened his adjustment time by devouring the fourth ancestor. Although he hadn't completely recovered yet, his cultivation level was at the ascendant stage already. Sichu Nan rolled his eyes and said, you are too boring. All you do is cultivate. What farts are there to cultivate? Do you know why this old man began cultivating? Let me tell you, this old man cultivates to have all the beauties in the world, to steal all the treasures in the world, and get rid of anyone I don't like. This is why I started cultivating back on planet 4 Saints. Otherwise, with how boring cultivation is, who would do it? When I reached the foundation establishment stage, I decided to give up on cultivation, and secretly escaped to a small country with almost no cultivators. I became a lord there, partied every night, and had women serve me every night. That was the life. Anyone who I didn't like would be killed with just one spell. 10 years, I stayed there for 10 years. Sichu Nan began to recall the past. He clearly missed those days. Wang Lin flew forward and calmly asked, if it was that comfortable, why didn't you just enjoy the rest of your life there? Anger appeared on Sichu Nan's face as he answered, you think I didn't want to? If it wasn't for some vicious core formation cultivator, who came looking for trouble, I would have enjoyed the rest of my life there. That core formation cultivator chased me down, and I went through many hardships to finally escape. I clenched my teeth and continued my cultivation. This time, I endured for decades and reached the core formation stage. Then I braced myself again to reach the late stage of core formation before leaving closed-door cultivation. Wang Lin laughed. He looked at Sichu Nan and asked, then you went to get your revenge. What revenge? That core formation cultivator had long been killed by someone else. After I came out of closed-door cultivation, I went to a rank 2 cultivation country and continued my nights of partying and enjoying myself. Those foundation establishment female cultivators accompanied this old man all day long. There is no need to even talk about how good those days were. Also, I had a palace in the mortal world. I was in existence on par with the king. That little king was good, he always gave me good stuff to use. Even thinking about it now, I really miss it. Wang Lin rubbed his chin and laughed. Could it be that you met a nascent soul cultivator later? Sichu Nan's eyes widened and he said, that's correct. Not even 3 years later, some nascent soul cultivator decided that he wanted one of my foundation establishment female cultivators for a cultivation furnace. This old man couldn't beat him and had to run. This time I cultivated until I reached the late stage of nascent soul before I came out of closed-door cultivation. After that I went around rank 3 cultivation counties living the life of a king and enjoying all the beauties. Back then, a lot of fellow cultivators were very envious of me. Wang Lin laughed loudly and asked, what happened after? Could it be that you met a soul formation cultivator? Sichu Nan let out a sigh and said, bad luck. After only 10 years, I killed someone and angered a soul formation cultivator. I nearly died and was saved by the first generation Suzaku. He wasn't the first Suzaku yet, and that's how I met Yi Wuyo. However, his cultivation level wasn't high and he couldn't protect me forever. So I gave up my beauties and began to run for my life again. This time I learned my lesson. I went into closed-door cultivation to comprehend life and reached the soul formation stage. I stayed in closed-door cultivation until I reached the late stage of soul formation. Wang Lin found Sichu Nan's cultivation path interesting, so he asked, what happened next? What happened after was I got my revenge. I went to that mid-stage soul formation cultivators sect and killed him before going back to enjoying life. Unfortunately, this didn't last long, because Yiwuyo found me and asked me to go to the celestial realm with him. So we went and gathered a lot of celestial jades, and then I reached the soul transformation stage after going into closed-door cultivation again. I originally wanted to go find a cultivation country and continue to live like a king, because at that point not many people could bother me anymore. This old man didn't want to cultivate anymore, because it was too boring and I wanted to live the rest of my life enjoying myself. But that old, thick-skinned Yiwuyo said that if I wanted to play, then I should play outside of Planet 4 Saints. We were going to create a rank 6 cultivation country, where I could play any way I wanted to play. I wasn't thinking straight at that moment, so I fell for that old thief's trap. Damn him. For this dream, this old man cultivated endlessly and went all over the place with him. Finally, in the end, he became the leader of all the sects in the country of Suzaku, and the two of us raised a rank 4 cultivation country step by step into a rank 6 cultivation country. Both me and him were successful in reaching the ascendant stage, and were given this shitty planet by the Cultivation Alliance. This old man was really looking forward to having some fun on this planet Suzaku. Unfortunately, the Forsaken Immortal clan was here. The Forsaken Immortal clan dared to steal from this old man, so how could I let them go? At that time, war covered the planet and the sky was dim. The Forsaken Immortal clan had a few good women that this old man took and had my fun with. Later, Yiwuyo sacrificed himself along with some old friends to seal the Forsaken Immortal clan. At that time, I was very depressed and was about to leave planet Suzaku to find a weaker cultivation planet to continue my life as a prince. Unfortunately, that old thief Yiwuyo even schemed against me in his death and made me the second generation Suzaku. What happened after that, you already know. My body was destroyed and I was forced to hide inside the heaven-defying bead until I met you. Now that I have my body back, I have to get revenge and then have some fun on planet Phone 1. Then I'll find a cultivation country there and continue my life as a prince. Let me tell you, Wang Lin, cultivating just enough is fine. Life is something you should enjoy and have fun in. Sichunan's eyes contained a hint of melancholy. It was as if he had seen through life. Wang Lin calmly said, "My Dao and yours are not the same." His eyes were calm. He had heard about Sichunan's life and that was that. Wang Lin knew that he couldn't be as carefree as Sichunan and enjoy life like that. From an unknown point in time, Wang Lin's heart began to chase after cultivation. He wanted to know what the end point of cultivation was. This was where he differed from Sichunan. Sichu had his own version of brilliance, and Wang Lin had his own pride. His pride was reaching the peak step by step, to stand above the world and understand the truth about the heavens. Sichunan looked carefully at Wang Lin and felt that he never truly understood this child who he watched grow up. Especially now, he felt very unfamiliar toward this Wang Lin, but within this unfamiliarity there was still a hint of a familiar feeling. The reason he felt unfamiliar was because he had never seen this expression on Wang Lin's face before. It was pride in one's own Dao. Sichunan hated this expression a lot, because he had only seen this expression on one other person before, and that was the person he respected and hated at the same time, the first-generation Suzaku, Yiwuyo. In his heart, Yiwuyo was like a big brother to him, an existence that was like a teacher and brother at the same time. Although Sichunan was very proud, he cared a lot about the kindness others showed him, and Yiwuyo had given him a lot. There were many things he couldn't say, but he remembered them in his heart. That's why even with his temper, even though he wanted to leave, one word from Yiwuyo made him give up on the idea and stay to become the second-generation Suzaku. In his heart, it was like he was guarding planet Suzaku for Yiwuyo. From the first time he met Yiwuyo, Yiwuyo always had the same expression that Wang Lin had right now. Even when Yiwuyo died, his expression was still filled with pride. From the lowly disciple of a sect in a rank 4 cultivation country, until he was the sect master. Then uniting all the sects in the country to become the sect master of the entire country. Then he used a large amount of willpower to raise a rank 4 cultivation country into a rank 5 cultivation country. Then he did the impossible by raising a rank 5 cultivation country into a rank 6 cultivation country. becoming a rank 6 cultivation country, and being given a planet by the Cultivation Alliance. All of this was because he was Yuwuyo. Without him, the country of Suzaku would still be an inconspicuous rank 4 cultivation country on Planet 4 Saints. Maybe it would have already been destroyed. At this moment, Sichunan saw the same expression on Wang Lin's face. His heart was filled with complex emotions before he let out a sigh and said, "Forget it. It is too early to talk about this right now. The most important thing now is to send you into the Suzaku tomb and take back your piece of soul from the cultivation planet crystal." Wang Lin, the Suzaku tomb is surrounded by the mysterious power of the cultivation planet crystal, so aside from the current Suzaku, no ascendant cultivator can enter, only soul transformation cultivators can enter, so I can't help you this time. However, you can relax, even if you fail to get your piece of soul back, I still have another way for you to get it back, but that method is very complicated and difficult. So it would be for the best if you could get it back yourself. Wang Lin nodded. He looked toward the country of Suzaku and calmly said, "The matters on planet Suzaku are almost done. Once I get the cultivation planet crystal, I'll leave the planet. Sichu, the universe is very large. I hope we will have a chance to meet again in the future." With that, Wang Lin flew off into the distance. Sichunan laughed as he caught up to Wang Lin and said, "It's too early to say that now. We can talk about it when we part ways. I believe we will meet again. If nothing goes wrong, I'll be a prince on planet Foam 1. As they flew, Wang Lin suddenly asked, "Sichu, what realm is above the ascendant stage?" Above the ascendant stage. Sichunan stopped flying and looked at Wang Lin. Sichunan answered, with a heavy tone, "The realm above the ascendant stage is not something most cultivators know of because there are simply too few people at those realms. The ascendant stage is a peak and at the same time a door. Most cultivators are stopped at this door, unable to continue their cultivation before their lifespan reaches its end. However, once you break through that threshold and touch the next realm, your lifespan will increase by countless folds. Although it can't last as long as the heavens and earth, it will increase by a lot. I gained some understanding of the next realm before escaping into the heaven-defying bead, which is why I was able to survive for tens of thousands of years in there. But this doesn't mean that my life is infinite. If my time comes and I still haven't made a breakthrough, I'll still die. It's not that there hasn't been people who have managed to escape the heavens reincarnation cycle, but most of the time they are low-level cultivators. It is simply too difficult for those who have reached the ascendant stage to escape the reincarnation cycle. The heavens reincarnation cycle produces different amounts of power based on the cultivator's cultivation level. This is why I said that low-level cultivators have a much easier time escaping the heavens reincarnation cycle with the premise that there is a high-level cultivator helping them. Wang Lin nodded. He recalled when he helped Li Muwen fend off the heavens messenger. Sichunan took a deep breath and revealed a hint of regret. After the ascendant stage are the 3 realms of nirvana shattering. Wang Lin's eyes lit up. The 3 realms of nirvana shattering. That is correct. The first generation Suzaku, Yuwuyo, told me about the 3 realms of nirvana shattering after he got the rewards from the Cultivation Alliance. If he hadn't told me, then I wouldn't have known until I became the next Suzaku. Sichunan sighed as he recalled the past. The 3 realms of nirvana shattering. The first realm is nirvana scryer, second realm is nirvana cleanser, and third realm is nirvana shatterer. Wang Lin took a deep breath, then he frowned and asked, "What about after the 3 realms of nirvana shattering? Is that the peak?" Sichunan shook his head and said, "How could it be so easy? The 3 realms of nirvana shattering are only considered the second step for cultivators. However, someone at the nirvana shattering stage can be considered a powerhouse in the Cultivation Alliance. People are rarely willing to mess with them. Rumor has it that the old monsters in the Cultivation Alliance have even managed to break through past nirvana shattering." Wang Lin pondered a bit, then he looked toward Sichunan and asked, "Are you a nirvana scryer?" Sichunan bitterly smiled and said, "How could it be so easy? There are 2 thresholds between the ascendant stage and becoming a nirvana scryer, which are the yin-yang cleansing stages. The yin-yang cleansing stages involve a change in domains. It's not the same as it going from non-corporeal to corporeal, but a deeper understanding. I can't explain it too much, but only after your domain has gone through the yin-yang cleansing stages can you become a nirvana skriya. Before I was forced to hide inside the heaven-defying bead, I touched the border of the yin cleansing stage. Although I wasn't able to cultivate while trapped, my understanding of my domain had increased, so I completed the yin cleansing stage. Once I have gone through the yang cleaning stage, I will only need to find a place to go into closed-door cultivation to become a nirvana skriya. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he asked, what cultivation level is Zhu Qzi at? Is he also at the yin-yang cleaning stages before nirvana skriya? A hint of disdain appeared in Sichu Nan's eyes and then he said, him. Late stage ascendant. I'm afraid he will not even be qualified to reach the yin-yang cleansing stages, so there is no need to even think about him becoming a nirvana skriya. However, he is considered a very special kind of ascendant cultivator. Although he is still weaker than cultivators at the yin-yang cleansing stages, he is not someone a normal late-stage ascendant cultivator can match. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he said, the Suzaku seal from the Cultivation Alliance. Sichunan revealed hint of appreciation in his eyes and slowly said, yes, he is a titled ascendant cultivator, and can be considered a top ascendant cultivator, because he controls a special technique from the Cultivation Alliance. Yi Wuyo obtained a powerful technique after coming back from the Cultivation Alliance called the Suzaku seal. It is very powerful, and would have been amazing if not for the fact that it costs lifespan every time it is used. Unless an ascendant cultivator has comprehended the yin-yang cleansing stages, then they will find it difficult to match the current Suzaku. However, the techniques given by the Cultivation Alliance are also ranked, just like celestial treasures. The Suzaku seal is only a low-quality technique, but it still greatly increases the power of whoever is holding the title. Unfortunately, the Suzaku seal can only be used once you control the cultivation planet crystal. Once you control both, your strength will increase by a lot. The Suzaku tactic that each generation of Suzaku learns is what the first generation Suzaku, Yi Wuyo, managed to learn from the Suzaku seal. Not only does the Suzaku seal increase cultivation speed, but once you have the cultivation planet crystal, it will increase the compatibility between you and the crystal so that you can reach the strength of a title ascendant cultivator faster. Wang Lin pondered a bit. His eyes lit up and he asked, you said earlier that celestial treasures are also separated in ranks. Of course. Celestial treasures that require celestial spiritual energy to use are split in low, mid, and high quality. Sichunan's eyes became serious as he said, there is also a rumor that there is a rank above celestial treasure that is very powerful and one has to be at least a nirvana kshatriya to use it. I think the heaven-defying bead is that kind of treasure. Wang Lin touched his forehead. He pondered a bit and then took out the celestial sword. He looked at Sichunan and said, check what rank this sword is at. After seeing the celestial sword, Sichunan's eyes lit up, he waved his right hand and the sword flew to him. He held the sword and touched it with his left hand as he slowly analyzed it. Wang Lin was very calm. He trusted Sichunan a lot, or else he wouldn't have let him check the celestial sword. Shortly after, Sichunan suddenly opened his eyes. He filled the sword with celestial spiritual energy, which caused it to glow. This glow was more than several times more powerful than when Wang Lin used it. Sichunan whispered, good sword. He casually swung it with his right hand. Boom. 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 A series of heaven-shattering explosions came from the air. Then a very large, rift-like wound opened up in the sky. Fierce cold wind came out from the rift, and in the blink of an eye the entire ground was frozen over. Good sword. Sichunan touched the sword. He turned his head toward Wang Lin and asked, where did you get this sword? The celestial realm. It belonged to an old friend. Wang Lin's eyes were calm the entire time. This is a mid-quality celestial treasure. Unfortunately, the sword spirit inside it can't completely merge with the sword, so its power is limited. In addition, this shouldn't be the only sword. I could feel that something was missing when I swung this sword. There should be 4 swords. Once they are combined, they will be like a high-quality celestial treasure. Unfortunately, once a celestial treasure reaches mid-quality, they have a soul mark. This is not the same as our souls, but a technique to use the treasure. Without it, we can't activate its full power. Good sword. Sichunan liked it so much that he almost didn't want to let it go. Mid-quality celestial treasure. Wang Lin slightly frowned. He thought that it would be a high-quality celestial treasure. Sichunan's eyes widened and he said, with dissatisfaction, "What? Is a mid-quality celestial treasure not good enough for you? In the entire universe, there aren't that many mid-quality celestial treasures, and cultivators can only refine up to low-quality celestial treasures. Almost all of the mid-quality celestial treasures now are from back before the celestial realm collapsed. A large amount of the celestial treasures that cultivators have are low quality. There are very few mid-quality ones. Once you leave here, you will see how rare mid-quality celestial treasures are. Just one is enough to start a war." Wang Lin's expression slightly changed. He thought back to the celestial realm, when he saw Sword Saint Ling Qianhu and some old freaks fight over the celestial swords like crazy. Those people's cultivation levels were definitely beyond ascendant, so Sichunan's words had a certain amount of logic to them. Mid-quality celestial treasures are already rare, but high-quality celestial treasures are even more rare. This old man has cultivated for a very long time, and even traveled to a few cultivation planets, but I haven't seen a single high-quality celestial treasure. You sure are lucky, brat. Sichunan snorted. Sichunan raised his head and asked, "Do you have the tactic for this sword?" Wang Lin pondered a bit and said, "I had some clues, but unfortunately I wasn't able to find it." Sichunan quickly asked, "Oh. Tell me about it." Wang Lin shook his head. "Things of the past. There's no need to bring it up." Sichunan smiled, then he looked at Wang Lin and said, "How about gifting me this sword?" Wang Lin looked at Sichunan and asked, "Are you being serious?" Sichunan hesitated a bit. Then he let out a sigh and threw the sword back to Wang Lin. "Forget it. If it was someone else, I'd just steal it, but if it's your things, this old face would feel too embarrassed." Wang Lin smiled. He caught the sword and said, "This sword isn't mine, otherwise, gifting it to you would be fine." Sichunan snorted and said, "If it wasn't for the fact that this old man's bag of holding was gone and I had nothing right now, I wouldn't care for it." This old man had 2 low-quality celestial treasures. Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he said, with a smile that was not a smile, "Zhuqiuzi has a lot of celestial treasures. Not only are all of Zhuqiuzi's celestial treasures low quality, they were also all gathered by the first-generation Suzaku. I feel too embarrassed to steal them." Sichunan revealed a look of pity. "Sichu, what quality do you think this treasure is?" Wang Lin pondered a bit. Then he slapped his bag of holding and the beast trap appeared. He threw the beast trap, causing the god-slaying war chariot to appear before him. The soul spirit on the chariot quickly appeared with its fierce eyes open and began to roar. Sichunan was startled when he saw the chariot, but then his eyes started shining brightly. Sichunan said, as he stared at the war chariot, "Celestial treasure. Although it is a low-quality celestial treasure, it's one of the most powerful low-quality celestial treasures, extremely close to mid-quality. Little brat, how do you have so much good stuff in your hands? If this spirit beast was a bit stronger, it might be able to raise it to a mid-quality celestial treasure." Low quality, Wang Lin's eyes lit up. He had 3 war chariots and this one was the smallest. The other 2 were both stronger, especially the last one. I have seen some ancient records about celestial treasures that use beast spirits. These can only be produced in the celestial realm, and after the celestial realm collapsed, these treasures almost went extinct. Unfortunately, although this is a low-quality celestial treasure, it requires a special technique to use like mid-quality celestial treasures do. To use it by force can't unleash its full power. What a pity. Sichunan let out a sigh. He truly admired Wang Lin right now. Although this brat's cultivation level wasn't as high as his, he sure did have quite a few treasures. Back when he was at this cultivation level, he didn't even have a single celestial treasure. Wang Lin looked at Sichu Nan, took out a piece of jade, and after recording some information on it, he threw it to Sichu Nan. Look at this. Sichu Nan caught the jade. When he checked it, his expression changed greatly. He looked at Wang Lin and said, "This is the technique to control this celestial treasure." That is correct. Using this technique allows you to control this god-slaying war chariot. I can even promise that this technique was left behind by the creator of this celestial treasure. Wang Lin nodded and looked at Sichu Nan with a smile that was not a smile. Sichu Nan put away the jade, let out a mischievous smile, and said, "Are you planning on giving me this god-slaying war chariot?" Wang Lin's expression remained the same as his hand formed a seal and pointed at the war chariot. A ray of black light flew from the chariot toward Wang Lin. "Why would I not gift it to you?" Wang Lin grabbed the beast trap and put it away. Sichu Nan was about to get revenge, and if he didn't have any treasures, Wang Lin would be a bit worried about him, so he decided to give Sichu Nan the war chariot. With Sichu Nan's new body and the war chariot, his quest for vengeance will go a lot smoother. Without the beast trap controlling it, the beast spirit let out a roar as it wrapped around the war chariot and quickly escaped. Sichu Nan laughed as he quickly chased after it. "Don't run. Come and play with this old man." The 4 armies of the Forsaken Immortal clan covered the skies of the north, east, west, and south parts of the Suzaku continent. In the eastern army, the 5th ancestor's eyes became cold. He waved his hand and softly said, "The 3-month wait is almost over. The day of the country of Suzaku's destruction is about to arrive." The moment he finished talking, he immediately started moving along with the huge black cloud behind him. His target was the center of the country of Suzaku, Mount Suzaku. At the same time, the other 3 Forsaken Immortal clan armies moved and started the last attack on the country of Suzaku. The 2 giant reincarnation trees on the Suzaku continent began to glow brightly, and then 2 shining ancestral spirits walked out of them. These 2 ancestral spirits both had 10-leaf plants on their foreheads. The moment they appeared, they also rushed toward the country of Suzaku. On the country of Suzaku's side, the 4 defense lines were immediately forced to retreat. This was a large war, so the entire Suzaku continent was trembling as the sound of countless spells echoed across the land. Jukyuzi was currently standing on top of Mount Suzaku. His red robe was flowing in the wind along with his white hair. He stood there completely motionless. Chu Yuanfei had left. The ascendant ancestor from the Shattered Earth sect was hidden away in closed-door cultivation. Right now, the only ascendant cultivator in Suzaku was Jukyuzi. His figure revealed a hint of sadness and loneliness, but even more so, a hint of madness. "Cultivators of planet Suzaku, I am the current Suzaku. All of you no longer need to defend, let the Forsaken Immortal clan come. Qianfeng and Liu Mai, the 2 of you come here." Juchua's divine message swept past the entire Suzaku continent. All of the cultivators that were defending let out sighs as they heard this and scattered as they ran for their lives. Without cultivators stopping them, the 4 Forsaken Immortal clans' armies charged toward the center of Suzaku like violent storms. If one were to look from above, they would see the entire Suzaku continent being covered by 4 giant, black clouds that were quickly closing in on the center. Jukyuzi had his hands behind his back as he looked at the blue sky and said, "Everything will be decided." Shortly after, 2 figures flew in from the distance and stopped next to Jukyuzi. They were Qianfeng and Liu Mai. Qianfeng was wearing a black robe, and his eyes gave off an evil aura. He silently stared at Jukyuzi with a gloomy expression. Liu Mai was still beautiful. She looked like a fairy with the white silk robe she was wearing. Right now her eyebrows were tightly knit, but she also remained silent. Jukyuzi's figure contained a trace of loneliness as he said, with a heavy tone, "The country of Suzaku can't fend off the Forsaken Immortal clan. Qianfeng, Liu Mai, the 2 of you will go through a life or death trial today. Whether you 2 live or die will depend on your luck." At this moment, the black clouds closed in like raging tsunamis. The black cloud from the east only had one person, a middle-aged wearing a grey robe, who looked like a scholar. With one step, He arrived 1,000 feet away from Zhu. Zhu, I'm the Forsaken Immortal clan's fifth ancestor. Another person walked out from the western black cloud. This person looked very young and his whole body was covered in tattoos, except his tattoos weren't black but golden. If Wang Lin was here, he would have recognized this person at a glance. This person slowly said, "The Forsaken Immortal clan's junior master greets Zhu." 3 people walked out from the southern black cloud. The 3 of them closed the gap in one step and stopped 1,000 feet away from Zhu. 2 of them were in an illusionary state. They stared at Zhu, but didn't say a word. The other person was a woman. She was very beautiful, and her eyes contained a hint of charm. She looked at Zhu, let out a smile, and said, "This little girl is the Forsaken Immortal clan's 3rd ancestor, and these 2 are my clan's ancestral spirits." From the northern black cloud, Yunqiu walked out. He whispered toward Zhu, senior apprentice brother. Zhu suddenly turned around toward Yunqiu and asked, "Should I call you Yunqiu or second ancestor?" Yunqiu shook his head and said, "Forget about it. Senior apprentice brother can call me whatever you wish. All of you have come. The only 11-leaf shaman in the Forsaken Immortal clan, first ancestor, you might as well come out too." Zhu's eyes sparkled as he looked into the sky. A ray of 5-colored light gathered in the sky and a transparent figure slowly took form. The figure descended slowly and said, "Zhu." This first ancestor looked extremely ordinary, yet with just one palm, he had scared Chu Yuanfei away. This power was similar to that of a late-stage ascendant cultivator, and to some degree even surpassed it. Yunqiu said, in a heavy tone, "Senior apprentice brother, our goal isn't to destroy planet Suzaku, but to find a way for us to coexist. If you promise to hand over the cultivation planet crystal, we can stop this war. We'll split the planet in half and never bother each other again." Zhu let out a laugh that contained a hint of mockery and said, "If it wasn't for the fact that you all were afraid of me destroying the cultivation planet crystal, you would have already attacked without wasting time on all this nonsense." Arrogant. The 5th ancestor's eyes lit up as he hit his forehead and a tattoo appeared. He pointed at the tattoo, he spat some blood on it, and shouted, "Seal." The tattoo immediately began to glow blood red and smashed toward Zhu. The 5th ancestor knew that Zhu was powerful. This was only meant to test the waters, so he didn't move closer. Zhu's eyes became cold and he sneered. It seemed like he wasn't going to react, but then a golden glow appeared around him. Cracking sounds came from the tattoo, as cracks appeared on it and then it shattered shortly after. At the same time, the 5th ancestor's expression changed and he quickly backed up. At this moment, a bloody dot appeared on his forehead, and blood started to drip out of it. The first ancestor frowned and arrived before the 5th ancestor. He reached out and took out a golden needle. However, the moment the needle appeared, it disappeared without a trace. Zhu's expression was gloomy as he moved. His speed was too fast, so fast that besides Yunqiu and the first ancestor, no one even saw what he had done. "Suzaku seal, attack." Zhu's ancient voice came from the void. When he reappeared, he was already pointing down from the sky. The sky darkened as a large amount of the flames appeared around his body. The flame covered everything within 1,000 feet of him and the ground began to show signs of being scorched. Aside from Yunqiu and the first ancestor, everyone quickly backed up to avoid the impact of the flames. At the same time, a fire phoenix came out from Zhu's body. It let out a screech before it closed its wings and descended toward the ground. The first ancestor charged into the sky. His body started releasing a black glow, then he raised his hand and pointed up. A mysterious 11-leaf plant suddenly appeared on his forehead. One of the leaves fell off and floated toward where he pointed.